No, Pegasystems does not produce cars. We are on the long-standing mission of changing the way that world builds software. And I also want to thank all the gamers of the world who spend their parents' money on expensive GPUs. AI won't replace people, but people who use AI will replace those who don't. So you know very well that we had AI for a long time. Basically, I'm an expert in administering systems, right? And I can tell you, this is hard. This is really hard. Cannot achieve this with a couple of computer graduates with GPT-4. We know that we live in the 21st century, and at least in this room, right? We use latest and greatest technologies. So my name is Andrzej Lassak. I'm a senior director of cloud engineering working in the Pegasystems. Currently, I'm responsible for rolling out the infrastructure in our Pega cloud that will support generative AI. So I realize that for most of you here, this conference is mostly professional, for me as well, sure, but it's also personal. So this is map of Kraków. Right? And this is a city that's very close to me. This is where we are right now. Because that's kind of my city, right? So I was born here 40 years ago in that specific area, in the hospital there, and I stayed in the area since then. This photo is taken in this area. That's myself and my sister. This photo was taken when the Soviet Union was still a thing around. 2 decades ago, I started my computer science degree there, and very shortly after, I started work at the Pega, where I work till today. It's been 17 years. I still hate myself for this haircut, but it is what it is. Life is a journey. And I started as an engineer. I wanted to be a system administrator, the hacker type of guy, a lot of black console with white text, network configuration. And I certainly succeeded in it, but I kind of somehow ended up in leadership, right? That helped me a little bit to end up with leadership. I started my MBA here over a decade ago. So as you can see, everything for me revolves around this city. Even my 3 beautiful children were born and raised, here. My oldest one is a grown-up man. He still lives in Kraków, actually in a block of flats next to the place that we are right now. And if you would tell me 10 years ago that I would be presenting in this most prestigious venue that we have in Kraków, this beautiful building, and talking about AI to academic community, I wouldn't believe it. So I want to welcome you in Kraków. I know that you've been here already for a couple of days, so I hope you had a great stay, and I hope that you will be coming more often here. This city has a lot to offer. Now, I also want to start by thanking you, right? I realize that I'm not speaking to Pega clients today, nor Pega partners, but I'm speaking to academics, researchers, scientists of the AI area. By the way, this is how Midjourney imagines scientists in AI area, so this is interesting, right? Quite biased. So I want to thank you, right, for driving this revolution forward. And I also want to thank all the gamers of the world who spend their parents' money on expensive GPUs for a couple of past decades, fueling a lot of capital into the entire industry that also helps AIs these days. So I know that's unusual tandem, scientists and gamers, but yeah, thank you all. I want to start by talking about autonomous cars. And no, Pegasystems does not produce cars, but this is a great analogy that I will want to use later. So most of you probably know, right, this scale, right? On this scale, level 0, which means basically no automation at all, right? It's like a standard classical car, while level 5 of automation means that there is a car that doesn't require any sort of human intervention and it can go anywhere, right? So I drove here today with a car which is on the borderline between level 1 and level 2, right? I'm very grateful that I can afford a car like that, but this is a commodity car. That's Skoda, right? Skoda, if you don't know what Skoda is a brand that's basically a more budget-friendly version of Volkswagen, right? So, and it's here, right? So all of you, can drive car like that. And I think we're also progressing in this area. I'm not sure if you know, but Mercedes is the first brand that was allowed in the United States to drive level 3 cars. You can already buy it. I understand it's an expensive car, sure, but it's something that everyone in theory can buy and use today. And I'm not even mentioning, a lot of cities on a selected routes that are experimented with fully automatic cars, like for taxis. I think we have friends from Aptiv here, and I think they brought one of the cars like that in here. I saw it in front of this building. So, this revolution is here. And I'm trying to stay humble, right? Because I remember where it all came from. This is also from Krakow. This is a 30-year-old photo taken nearby from this location where we are right now. That's myself, my sister, and my father, and that's our Volkswagen Golf 2. So in my lifetime, right? In my lifetime, this is the revolution that happened. And I hope to see in my lifetime another revolution that will be happening. I want to see a revolution of autonomous enterprise. So the autonomous enterprise is a self-driving business that has applied artificial intelligence, automation, and workflow to the problems of operations and management. That's a definition, that was introduced in Forbes in 2020. Basically, imagine a large organization that is self-managed, self-adjusting, self-healing, right? And in order to do so, you need a lot of different components. Artificial intelligence is of course key part of it, but that's not the only part. And now I want to introduce you to Pega. So Pega GenAI is the first generative AI for the enterprise. So Pegasystems is a 40-year-old company. Actually, it was founded 2 months before I was born, right? So that's a pretty old company, and we are on the long-standing mission of changing the way that world builds software. And we succeed on this journey for a long time. Pega GenAI is the newest revelation of how we fulfill this mission. But let me play a short video that will introduce you to Pega.
What is Pega? No, it's not that. Or this. Impressive teamwork, though. Still no. And definitely not whatever this is. Pega's a powerful low-code platform for AI-powered decisioning and workflow automation. So you spend less time doing this. And this. And more time getting work done, like the folks at the most demanding organizations who use Pega every day. But not exactly these folks, because this is stock footage. With Pega, you hyper-personalize each and every piece of customer engagement. You streamline customer service experiences so customers and agents are both happy. To put it plainly, we help you get more done by doing less. That way, your operations team is worthy of a dramatic slow-mo. You can acquire and onboard new customers and partners faster, and you can quickly respond to problems and exceptions before they happen. Not this problem, this one. The best part? You can do it all on a collaborative low-code platform, meaning you don't have to be these guys to adapt to change at light speed. Are you ready to connect people, process, and tech across your enterprise and feel as confident as the folks still walking in slow-mo? Well, it's never been simpler. Get ready to crush your business complexity. No, not like that. Like this.
Yes, so this is what Pega means for me. This is what we build. And if I would be speaking today to CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, the larger enterprise in the world, I wouldn't have to introduce Pega. All of them would know very well what Pega does and why we are good at what we are doing. But I understand this is a different type of audience today. I understand that there's plenty of academics and researchers here. So let me put a Pega Systems on a map for you, on a business map for you. So Pega Systems is a leader in digital process automation software. We are absolute leader in low-code application platform for business workflow automation. And we are leader in robotic process automation. So we deal with the largest complexities, business complexities that are out there in the world. And this is just a handful of our clients, that you can see here. We have hundreds and hundreds of clients. All of them are the largest organization in the world. So let me just take a random stat from him. 18 out of the top 25 global banks are Pega clients, right? And it's just the beginning. So when I'm talking today about AI and this autonomous enterprise, I'm talking on this level of complexity. Now, this is a really nice analogy that Alan Trefler, our CEO and founder, recently published on LinkedIn. I really like this article. So he talked about two sides of the brain, right? Traditionally, we associate one side of brain with analytical thinking, mathematical thinking, logic, this rational stuff, right? And then there is this other part of brain that we know of that's responsible for these less tangible things, like creativity, like intuition, right? And you know very well, right? I know that you are guys very deep into AI. So you know very well that we had AI for a long time. We had AI for a long time, and we have been leveraging this in a business for a long time for now. But we only had this one side of the brain. We only had this analytical, mathematical, this logic, this rational side of the brain. But now, with generative AI, we also get these other parts, right? And these other parts is helping us actually to automate and optimize businesses even more. Now, let me change the slide. Now, I was supposed to talk a lot about cloud today, but I found out that on the panel that we'll have later today, we'll be talking about the future of AI, and there will be most likely a question, will AI take our jobs? So, now when we have these two sides of the brain in AI, perhaps we could automate some of the jobs. So I am a specialist in IT field. I hired and trained hundreds of IT engineers over the years, so software developers, security experts, network administrators, right? So I will narrow my discussion only to this part. So software developers can complete coding tasks up to twice as fast with generative AI. That's a McKinsey study from this year. First of all, up to. It doesn't mean that you just optimize everyone's work in the industry by half. But still, does it mean that this robots, that this AI is just waiting here to take jobs that poor IT engineers, have these days? This is not my worry. My worry is completely opposite, right? My worry is that we don't have enough talent in IT to actually drive the progress that's required. And let me throw some numbers. Almost 9 million people in the EU worked as ICT specialists, a little over 11 million below the 2030 goal. That's European Commission from past year. If you don't know what European Commission is, this is the closest that you can get to government of Europe, right? So it's an official body, right? This quote sounds pretty optimistic, at least not very pessimistic, but if you read the entire analysis, the image that you get is even more gloomy. So we need 11 million IT specialists in Europe just to meet the demand. We could use much more. 11 is just what we need. And you all work in universities. You know that we are not able to produce 11 million IT graduates, right, in just 7 years. This is just impossible. So I know what some of you will think, like, let's go and talk about immigration. Let's try to attract some of the talents. So let me put things into perspective for you. India, the most populous country in the world, overtook China this year, right, has 5 million IT specialists. 5 million. If we somehow would be able to attract all of these engineers and come to Europe, by the way, they won't, right? They are perfectly happy. Vast majority of them, I have a lot of friends there, right? Vast majority of them are very happy where they are. They earn good money. India is booming. But let's assume that you can attract them here. You still have a gap of 6 million people. What are you gonna do, right? And by the way, this is not the European problem. By 2030, there will be a global shortage of more than 85 million tech workers, representing 8.5 trillion in a lost annual revenue. You can find this article on IMF. It's 2019, so arguably, since then, this number perhaps is even larger because, pandemic happened, everything moved online, right? So we may actually need more, right? So immigration is not the solution, it's just shifting a problem from one place to another. So this entire generative AI revolution that's happening right now, for me, it's actually a salvation. It's an opportunity to entire IT industry, right? AI won't replace people, but people who use AI will replace those who don't. That's IBM research from this year. That's my favorite quote of this year. I absolutely love it. So for me, this picture, right, this illustration is not scary. This is actually opportunity where humans will be able to get more help, from AI and from robots to get their job done. Now, there is another challenge. So IT gap was the one challenge that I see, but there is another challenge, right? I think I don't have to explain to you what A100 is, right? It's a most popular GPU from NVIDIA, the professional version. This is basically the card that's driving the progress of generating generative AI behind the scenes. This is not a full picture, but this is state of the AI reports from September 2023. They're pretty good. They are doing pretty good research here, right? And this is amounts of A100 GPUs that these companies or governmental institutions have. So what we are seeing here, it's tens of thousands, perhaps thousands. And in order to drive a revolution, right, we need millions. We need millions of chips like that. And some of you may say, well, it's not only NVIDIA out there. Actually, it's only NVIDIA out there, right? So these are from the same source. So these are AI papers just from September this year that just mention which GPUs were used to make all of this happen, and it's dominated by NVIDIA. So it's just NVIDIA. And by the way, the card that you see on the almost very bottom, NVIDIA H100, this is a new model that's replacing A100. I believe NVIDIA already shipped a couple of tons. This is measured in tons for some reason. A couple of tons of these chips, and NVIDIA committed to ship this year 500,000 chips, yeah, H100, which is absolutely huge step up comparing to what we've seen before, but it's still not enough. Demand is growing, and we are not able to keep up. The wait time for H100 is 6 to 18 months. We are not able to keep up. Now, this is interesting card, the third one from the top, because that's not a professional card for AI researchers, right? That's just a gamer's card, right? And it's still making into the top, showing to me that, access to GPU power, that researchers and companies has to go and use consumer goods in order to drive this revolution. And by the way, this is the same card that I have myself personally at home. With water cooling, it looks like from Star Trek or something like that. And I'm playing myself a little bit with Llama models, with vector databases, right? And I am expert in system administration, right? I am certified through the roof in Linux, in different clouds. I have all Amazon Web Services certificates. I have some Google certificates not mentioned here, 10 certificates from Microsoft. So basically, I'm an expert in administering system, right? And I can tell you, this is hard. This is really hard, right? The state of the software that we get around this generative AI is not yet what businesses would require. So there is a lot of complexity. That's why I believe that, in order to address the scarcity of this GPU power and abstract the complexity, probably most of researchers and business will move to the cloud when we are talking about access to the GPU power. Now, talking about complexities, I want to go back to the business complexities because this is where autonomous enterprise kicks in. And we know that we live in the 21st century, and at least in this room, right? We use latest and greatest technologies. But, not every company in the world and not every government organization in the world lives in the 21st century. In a sense, like, there's still work done using paper. And I don't mean research paper. I mean, like, literally paper and stamps and things like that. So you cannot go to a large business like that, hire a computer science graduate and just, ask them to use ChatGPT to rewrite their entire business. This is not how it works. You can do it in startups and small organizations that absolutely do the magic. But if you are talking about larger complexities, you need more than that. You need complicated, large systems that leverage different types of AI, different types of automation, different types of workflows, and these multi-billion-dollar companies, multinational, intercontinental, they are so connected with each other, and that they also have to be compliant with different norms and different standards and different laws, right? You cannot achieve this with a couple of computer graduates with GPT-4. You need something more than that. So, wrapping things up, Pega GenAI, that's the first generative AI for the enterprise. Autonomous enterprise is the future that we want our customers, we want to take our customers on a journey to that where you have self-running business with less and less human intervention. We are low-code platform. You saw the gap. Right? In order to address this gap, you need to introduce non-technical people and allow them to create software, right? So this is where low-code platform helps, especially when it's backed with generative AI, because, it will be even less code. And it's all very complicated, trust me, as a sysadmin. So that's one of the reasons why we offer Pega GenAI only to our cloud clients. And my last slide, just to finish, I want to thank you one more time, all the researchers or the academics, for doing this great work. And I hope that from now on you will not have to rely on gamers, to partner up with you to drive this progress, but that from now on IT engineers like myself will be your partner. Thank you very much.